Evil can never be dead enough.
Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
We are all Richard Allen!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Come on, man. What's wrong with you?
What's going on? Is that live? It looks live. I don't know. Benny seems really still. Oh, there you go. It's like, wow. I saw the ears wiggle there for a second. All right. Well, I think some people liked the video today. By the way, I mentioned, if anybody watched the live stream last night, I found this new footage in my footage of GoPro video that I took when I was out there, and I thought that video where I actually turn the camera and it looks over it's pretty amazing. It shows you exactly what's going on here. But apparently people still didn't get it. I mean, that's what's so amazing to me in the comments. People go, "Gray, gosh, Gray, you should point out the house." And it's like, well, what channels are you watching, for God's sakes? I mean, I'm telling you, I don't know how many times I've covered this case. I don't think there's anybody in here that's confused that this 1122 King Road right here is the house, okay? It's like, Gray, point to the one with where they died. I've done it 1,000,000 times, man. What shows are you watching? The clown? The UK guy who never shows a damn thing on any show? Yeah, that guy? Yeah. Who just sits there and talks and says, "Let me spitball here for a minute." Yeah, okay. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, I mean, so if you're watching channels that look like this, well, listen, today, wow, it was really interesting. We had the thing, and I got to tell you, at 1122 King Road, it's really exciting. And then this car drove by, and man, it was really interesting, all right? Buy everything that I'm saying. I'm not showing you a damn thing. I'm just going to tell you what to believe. And, you know, with my charm and charisma, I'll be able to explain it to you. And by God, you'll watch me the next day without telling you a damn thing and anything worth a damn that's in reality at all. Okay? Yeah, that's great. All right. Yeah, that's what you get over there. I mean, my God, I spend hours trying to get stuff together to put it in order so people can understand something. You know, I drove out there, and when I went there, I didn't just walk up to, you know, like there's these other people, they just go there and they go to the really cool thing, like, ooh, here's Corner Club, everybody, look at Corner Club. Oh, look at, here's where the grub truck was. When I went there, I thought, you know what would be really important is to do the routes that we've determined. You know, of course, we didn't know the exact routes that he took at the time, but we are currently, I'm likely going to go out there and film the routes, the correct order that they are now. Okay, unfortunately, the trees will be filled, so you won't be able to see as well, etc. But at least it'll be the right routes. You know. So, hey, thanks, CR. And you guys, if you're out there, if you want to help support the channel, that'd be great. If not, that's cool too. And thanks Cheryl Moran for she sent a super thanks in a video. That was nice. And then there's a few people that supported the channel during the, I think it was Leon Littlejohn, not Leo. Leon Littlejohn on the live stream, or the premiere earlier. I think that video is doing pretty well compared to the previous video. All right. And today was kind of a long day. I was trying to get ready for my first excursion into kayak fishing with, you know, it's a pedal drive, so you're going to be pedaling. We're going to try that tomorrow morning sometime. And I was just trying to get everything ready to go for that. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Hey, thanks, Amber Maiden. And look at that, you guys. She typed the wave sign in there. Now, you guys are notorious for leaving Amber Maiden hanging when she puts out a super chat wave option. And man, my God, it's like, for a while there, she was like 0 and 8. And then people started going, oh, there, look at it. Okay, we'll count Donna in there. See, there we go. They always hurt my feelers. I know, it's crazy. It hurts mine even more, though. Hey, Bud Gray! And if you missed last night's show, you know, we have this DNA fund that we've put over $100,000 in over the last 5 years. And 2 of the cases that we've been... You know, I think we started funding DNA projects even before we started doing in 2020. It was like prior to that. But we've put over 100,000 in there, and 2 of them, really crazy cases. One of them was a torso found in Indiana in a river, in a small little town somewhere, and then they buried the body after they couldn't identify it, and it was put into a vault even, and then buried, but they didn't put a gravestone. Amazing! They spent like $5,000 on a vault, but there's no gravestone there. Not even a pebble, a stone, nothing. Just so there was a picture of it being buried. So way back, I don't know, about almost a year ago, I was sent a picture of a ceremony at the gravesite, black and white in a newspaper, not much to go on, but I was able to use satellite imagery and the image and really kind of narrow down where the grave site was, and then the sheriff went out there and pretty close to exact location where I was showing where it was. They were able to exhume the body, got bones out of it, and they've tested every single bone in the world, and then it turns out that after, you know, they just struggled getting any DNA at all because it's so degraded. But then, boom, they got something like 200 or 300 picograms, and they're just looking for a little bit more, and then they're going to go to sequencing, and then they'll go to genealogy, and boom, we'll have the name of that person. Then the other one is in Florida, like they said, a 15 to 20-year-old kid. Really strange story there, where when they found his body, there was a bike next to him that had been stolen 4 days prior, and the bike was next to him. This kid was nude from the waist down, and whoever killed him, apparently, it could have been himself, I guess, but apparently the person who killed him shaved his body from the waist down. So this person was likely like a male that was into boys and wanted him to look like a boy, and killed this person, and we've got DNA on that one now too to go into sequencing to identify that person, and that'll just be absolutely amazing. Give the names back, and maybe it'll lead to what happened to them. All right, so there you go. That's the update on that really quick. I'm sure that, I know that's not very interesting to a lot of people, but hey, thanks Alley Cake and CR and Don Lawson and GG Cats. Drive video was great. Watched it last night. Awesome amount donated. Oh yeah, that was Last night was a good show. So when you're out there and you wonder, there's a lot of trolls that hate my channel. They don't like the way I do it because I do try to actively bring in super chats and have the support for the channel because it allows me to keep doing the shows, and then it also allows us to fund all these great things that we're doing. And for some reason, that just sucks to them. You know, it's like, oh, Gray, you're just donating the money that people give you. And it's like, all right, but they're supporting my channel, and then I decide to take a lot of it and give it to these various charities out there and things that we do. The money wouldn't make it there otherwise. I guarantee you that. I mean, the trolls that troll my channel are just absolute nut jobs. Okay. Was the footage from Linda Lane car park the one that had the time missing? I'll show you. So this right back here, if you're watching, this is where this is where that parking lot was, where it does the 3-point turn. You remember that? It comes back here. That's Linda Lane, 1330 Linda Lane. Okay. Then right on the same apartment complex, there's one right here, 1320 Linda Lane, and that one films directly down this direction. And at 3:29:47, a Elantra or white vehicle drives by right here, and it matches perfectly with the vehicle entering the area on other cameras. But then right after that, at 3:30, all the footage is missing from 3:30 until 4:05, which would exclude the 2 times that the car came this way and then it came back like this. It went. There's 2 or 3 times where the car drives like this, and then there's no footage of it driving by over here, but eventually comes back this way again. And so that means it didn't go up here and it didn't go in here. And if there's no footage from here, it could either be that the footage is missing, or it didn't make it there, that it actually pulled into one of these parking spots here. Now, the trolls go out of their way. They'll actually try to contact people who support my channel and befriend them, and they try to be like, hey, like that gray guy, and it sucks, I've lost people that used to be really supportive of my channel because the nut jobs over there have no life. They literally sit around, wake up in the morning, have a cup of coffee, and wonder how can they try to screw Gray over today. What a weird way to live. Why not try to make your life better? You ever thought of that? Yeah. Yeah, it's crappy. I know. It's these people are. So did you get that, Zozo? Right, I have that one. Yeah, I have all those. I have 1 o'clock till 5 in the morning on this camera, and you know what's amazing? It's the same apartment owner. That's the guy that came and jumped out at me, by the way. And all that footage is there. But then somehow, just miraculously, the 3:30 till 4:05, I mean, the odds of that being coincidental to me are so low that it gets the car coming in the one time, and then it starts up again exactly when the vehicle is never going to show up there again. Because at 4:01, if you guys remember when the DoorDash driver is right here, and believe it or not, Steve Gonzalez thinks that they may have passed each other, and I showed you guys that the other day, just doing my own timing and looking at it, that they probably passed each other. And so, remember the DoorDash is here, and then Koberger's vehicle is leaving, and I think he may have passed the DoorDash driver somewhere in this area right here. Then he came over here, and it was really telling, you guys. He goes like this. So let me show you the timing here. At 4 o'clock and 14 seconds, the car goes right back behind 1119 King Road. Just goes boom. And then it immediately turns around and it goes back the other direction. At I think it was 4, I don't know if I put it in here, but it's like within seconds of each other. Let me see. I actually have the PDF file right here. Hold on. Man, this is one of my favorite documents in the entire case. Or, I don't know if it's this one, but that's the one that has the images. That's not the one. I think this is it right here. Yeah, right here. Alright, so when we go to... It's right here. It's pretty amazing. Look at this. At 4 o'clock and 14 seconds, the headlights are traveling north on Elantra Drive behind 1119 King Road. So I guess the other angle, it's this one right here. So at 3:59:04, the vehicle heads south behind 1119 King Road. So that's right here, right? That's that building. So it's heading south at 3:59:04, and then just a minute and 10 seconds later, the vehicle likely came to right here and did a U-turn. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, it's exactly the amount of time that it would take probably. Came right here like this, did a U-turn, and came back this direction, and then at 4 o'clock and 14 seconds, just a minute 10 later, it comes by right here, and then he's looking over there, and likely that DoorDash driver is still there. So he's looking at it, and then he goes, okay, he's gonna drive away, right? Then he drives this direction. Watch this, you guys. Drives this direction. Then he comes right down here on, I think this is Lauder Avenue. And then turns right on Ridge Road here. And a camera picks it up as it's coming out, and it picks it up at the top up here. And then as it turns, another camera picks it up, and that's the one that got the front license plate, missing a front license plate. Then the vehicle drives around like this and makes its way all the way back around, and then at 4:04, now 4:04 and 20 seconds, the vehicle is spotted right back here, right there again. And then it enters into the complex for basically the last time it enters the complex. Okay, so when it enters the complex for the last time, it's like 4:04 and 50 seconds. And then it turns, goes back here. I'll just work through this again for you guys. It goes back here. And then when it gets here, it does a 3-point turn. It pulls in, backs up, and then comes back out this way. Now, interestingly, here, I'll show you this. It's pretty cool when you just see it all, how it works, right? So I'm going to go move this forward. I'm going to go up to here. And so when it came back this way, it does the 3-point turn. This is this right here. Let me show you where we're looking. Is right back behind here, looking that direction. Okay? So it's right back there. I'm standing there in this video. And see that? Now watch when you turn around, and let's say I go back this direction. Look how steep that hill is right there. Now if my car was driving and my headlights were beaming out, the lights would hit 1119 King Road, right? Do you guys agree with that? Because the lights are hitting straight out from this height up here, right? So then as it was going down the hill, the lights on 1119 King Road start dropping, and that's how they knew that the vehicle was right in this area here. Okay, and then when it's down here, they think it kind of tried to stop or turn around, and they could probably see the headlights moving around on 1119 King Road. It's pretty amazing. I mean, that's just awesome stuff. And then right over here, they do a U-turn. Then they come back up and go this direction again. So we'll just go all the way up there, and they go right behind here. And you'll just be able to see it. I'm not sure why it just keeps rotating, but see, it came up this. It's really way higher up here. I think we figured it out the other day. It was, what was it, like 20 feet? Yeah, what are you all about, Imoni? I always think you're a kind of a closet troll for some reason. I'm not sure why. All right, look at right here. You see this? This right here is 1127. So can't you see that if a car, I think my headlights are different than the Elantra. His probably went out straighter. Mine will kind of go down a little bit. But that's the building. When the car's turning right here, when it's turning right here, it hit the top of this house right there. I know, you just, comments that you make often are just a little shady, something a little off on them. So there it is. 1119, right? Or this is 1127 right there, and that's 11. Let me show you again. Hold on. So let me walk down there again. This is 1127. That's when it goes around, the lights hit there. And then this one over here is 1119 right there. Now, the lights didn't hit that one, apparently. And then I think the car parked somewhere right around in there. Okay. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth Brown. Welcome. All right, so you guys want to see, this is interesting footage here. So if you're, I didn't play it in my video, but this is it right here. This is video from that camera. It's not really, it might be timeline information related to Madison, or this is like this is a previous night. So, well, it's the same evening, I guess. 11:12 at 10:16 in the evening. So maybe this is, I don't know whose vehicle this is. There could be many cars that people that are driving by, so I don't even know whose vehicle this is, but it's a moving video. I mean, watch. So the car's driving. This is what it looks like. This is what the quality of this camera is going to be. So light's going to blow it out a little bit. However, if you look at that right there, when the vehicle does that U-turn, I think you're going to get a pretty good indication that that's a white Elantra. So there's the vehicle leaving the area right there. And somebody goes, what difference does it make that that's at 10 o'clock in the night, Gray? I wasn't showing it to you for any evidentiary value other than this is what they have to look at, this video right here. So when you're looking at this right here, this back here, see these lights over here? That's Willanta Drive over there. All right, so when the vehicle comes around over here, lights will be hitting some of the foliage and stuff back here, and then when it comes over here, it'll pass this building, and you'll see the lights of it driving right back there. That makes sense? And then right here, see that building right there? That's the 1127. That if you were right back here, a headlights coming around would hit that building. And that's why this footage right here is so valuable. It shows everything. Not only does it show the vehicle coming in, it shows it when it turns around, it shows it when it's driving up here, when it's coming back, comes back in, etc. And they can tell by various lights, etc. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, so what are some more questions if people are confused out there about what we're looking at here? I just want to be able to answer them. My goal is that nobody's confused. All right. The way you explain it and show it, how can it? I know, but there are people get so they go, I'm just totally confused, Gray. Which one is the house? I'm not sure if they're doing it to be a troll or what they're doing, but it feels like if you've ever even spent 10 minutes over here, you'd understand it. And by the way, there's this other case that I'm trying to find time. I didn't have time to look at it today. It's in I forgot what state it was in, but it was at like a McDonald's, and this guy came in there wearing all black, and he just sits there and waits for somebody to exit the McDonald's, and then shoots him in the head outside in the parking lot. And they haven't caught the person. Happened 8 days ago. So guess we'll have to try to figure that one out coming up, right? I have the press conference and the surveillance video of McDonald's. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth Brown. I love it when you imitate people. It's pretty accurate, though, isn't it, Elizabeth? Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I think it's pretty obvious. We wouldn't be able to tell if he was using the high beams or not. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could have been using high beams, but people's headlights are different. You know, some of them are higher, some are lower, etc. Right? I mean, everybody's not exactly the same, but it doesn't really matter. It is, you know, they were able to see that it's the car coming around. Because it does exit again. And take on the case of 100%. Hey, thanks. You know, I heard some interesting stuff on the, that interview with Drunk Turkey show and Steve Gonzalez. You know, that was pretty, I try to take some notes on it. I don't know if you guys are interested. There was some stuff I don't remember reading about in the documents. It was, things like, let's see. Well, maybe I'll just bring that up later. Let's put it over here for now. I just want to make sure everybody has this during the 9 time frame. Right. I mean, they were talking about that maybe he was checking 911 or scanner in Moscow, Idaho before driving over there. But then if he went there to admire his handiwork, that's what I think, and that's what Steve Gonzalez thinks, and they went over to admire his handiwork. I guess why would he go over there when there wasn't anything to admire? Like if there's nobody there at the crime scene yet, maybe he just assumed, okay, there's got to be. They just didn't hit the airways yet. Or something. I don't know. But yeah, and then he was just on with Ashley Banfield, sort of a similar kind of thing. I mean, the thing about Steve, you just ask him anything, he'll start talking and explain stuff for a while. He isn't, you don't even have to ask good questions. He just can. I thought it was a good interview. I'm just saying, like he'll just tell you everything that he can, because he wants everybody to know every single thing that there is to know that he can say. It's like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Mm-hmm. He got rid of it. I think he wanted to see the horror, and yeah, that's what I think too. I don't know why you have a question mark at the end there, Toy Airy. Man, Toy Airy, how long have you been around here? You've been around forever, right? I mean, I bet you're a 60-monther. I mean, you've been here for just like Kanika Jenkins kind of days, I think. Yeah, let's see. BK was very cocky, in my opinion, and didn't think he would ever get caught. Most serial killers are described as extremely intelligent. This one dumb as heck. Here, let me play this again over here. It does that sometimes. Not sure why. This one over here. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Moran. Yeah, thanks for your super thanks on the video too. That was very kind of you. Thank you very much. And thanks for your email. That you responded to my email. So thank you. That was nice. Some shows I just never sure, if I did the show well or not. I'm just like, God, it's tough because I do shows every single day, and I don't know. Some shows are obviously more interesting to people than others, but it is what it is. Awesome video I put out earlier. Yeah, I thought that was one of the better ones I've put out in a while. And it was. The footage was new for me. Like, I remember I did mark it up a long time ago, but I don't know if I've ever really played that video. Maybe once a long time ago where it's turning, but at the time it didn't mean anything. It might have just been like, oh yeah, look, you can see the house over here. But now it really is amazing because you can see exactly like the camera angle of the I think I have it right in here of the camera. Yeah, this one right here. See, look how awesome this is, you guys. I mean, I don't know what it is, but this is exactly what law enforcement should have, something similar to this. At the trial, you could slow it down like this. Watch. I mean, let me get that off the screen. I mean, don't you think if this was at trial and you go, yes, okay, so see, this is behind, you would explain it to him and say, okay, this building right here is 1119 King Road, all right? Now we can see the vehicle's lights on the 1112 King Road camera. You might even just call that house something else because that's the only camera in the area. So just say the complex camera or something. But anyways, look at this, watch. You go right into here and look at how you just explain to the jury. And here's what we're looking at right here. See how the car's driving back here? This is how it can see it. You're right here, and that's the house with the camera on it. And the jury would be like, oh, wow, okay. See, that's what they need, okay? So this right here, see this? If I open up this other shot, if I go like this, hold on. Just like this. That's the house right there, and my car is right there. So on their video, they're going to have the lights back here, right back there. They're going to have the lights driving on Walanta Drive. And then if you go back to a video like this one, you just say, okay, and see, that's the camera, and that's why you can see this vehicle. I mean, look at that. It's almost like I knew eventually that house, because my camera is like almost focused in on 1112 King Road. Look at that. Isn't that weird? Like, what are the odds of that? Absolutely crazy. And then you come around here, it's almost still looking at it. Look, there it is. Oh, there it is, 1112 King Road. And then this was absolutely amazing up here. You could actually do something like this and say, listen, all right, so I want you to see this, jury. See right back there? That's the parking lot. That is, oh yeah, and then I would actually pull up, I'm not sure if is that closed now? I don't see it on my screen. Hold on, I gotta open that back up again. Here's how I would explain this one. You kind of use like multiple things. Overhead map's always good. Oh, there it is over here. I thought I lost that. So look, here's the parking spot. And what you do is you show the jury that, see how you can see from this parking lot the roof of that building right there? That's 1127 King Road. It's right there. That's the roof right through there. And you point to it. All right. Then you go back to the here and say, see right back there, that's the same parking lot. And then maybe you scroll back or something like that, and it goes, now look, here's that roof of 1127 right there, and see right back in here is that parking lot, and that's where the light hit as it was turning in here. So as the vehicle turned and went down this direction, it beamed its lights on that building, and we can see it on the complex camera. There you go, everybody. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I hope that made sense when you just watched it. When you just saw that, didn't you go, oh yeah, jeez, okay. And then not only that, I have other video where you can come in and on this one right here, it's absolutely perfect. There, let's show it when it came around here. Right before it got there. It came around. Now they probably could come up using an Elantra and have it beaming over there. But see, my lights go straight down. They don't go very far. And so when it comes around, it would hit up on the top of this building over there. And my lights are just different than his, you know. So, but that's where it would be. So you'd have to get an example where, and I've done it before where it actually, in other videos that I had, when I was at a different angle driving, my light came over and hit the building over there. So I don't know if it's just like if you happen to go a certain position, etc. I don't know, but obviously I don't have the same type of vehicle he does. And so here's the other time I'm at the house here. Isn't it just creepy looking at that? Like just... And then this is a good way to say it too. Now you could say, now right around in... Right here, see how the lights are beaming over here? 1112 King Road camera picked up the vehicle, and right here, because right now we're right behind 1119 King Road. And so you can just kind of go through it, and they're just make sure that they all just get it. You know, that it's not confusing, etc. I think I'd be pretty good at making exhibits for sure. I've actually made exhibits for a prosecutor in New York many years ago, but it was from my videos I made on the Jodi Arias case with 3D models. They were like, wow, that's crazy. Okay, so, and then I made an elevator incident video and got flown all the way out to Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn, man, that's not a place yeah, I'd want to go back and visit again. But anyways, that's not cool, Gray. I live in Brooklyn. I'm never watching again. I don't know when I'm going back, BMS. I don't think I would actually say when I was going back there. Too many crazy people. These pro burger nut jobs, man. Whew, wow. Unreal. Unreal. All right, you guys. Well, if we're still short of the goal tonight, so if you're out there and you have the ability to help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. It allows me to make, keep working on all these different things, do the live streams. At the end of the month, last month we gave $4,500 out. I got back that 100 and whatever the hell that was. They took like a 18% tip on that or something. It was just ludicrous. On one of the donations I made a $1,000 donation and they took $180. And I go, no, I'll pay the $30 for your processing fee, but not the other $150 that you took. 15%, I think. Yeah, we'll add that somewhere else. Yeah. I don't know what that means. I'm Oni. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, man. Thanks, Allie Cake. Nah, I didn't touch anything. Well, that was like their default, I think. Hey, thanks, Janelle H. and Allie Cake. All right. All right. So anything else in here? I just want to answer questions. Now let's talk about for a few minutes something that I was talking about in the video. So what do you guys think is more important in this case? See, the thing is, you got to really think about it and don't just cavalierly answer the question. But it's like the DNA on the knife sheath or the white Elantra driving around. So what's an interesting thing to do is to do a discussion where you say, what if one of these didn't exist? Right? Like it didn't exist at all. Could you still make a case? So I would say, if so just kind of look at it like, okay, if the K-bar knife sheath did not exist, not only would they not know exactly what the murder weapon was, they also would not have had the name Bryan Kohberger because they found the DNA on it. However, the Elantra, but without the Elantra, could you make the case? Like if there was no Elantra driving around at all, could you make the case that he was the killer? So how would that work if there was no Elantra driving around? There would be no WSU officers who drove around looking for a white Elantra because there wasn't one. There wouldn't be a corroboration early on of the bushy eyebrows with Dylan Mortensen. There'd be none of that because there's no white Elantra to be looking for. To find, you'd still have Dylan Mortensen say bushy eyebrows. However, you wouldn't know, there would be no white Elantra to have found the Kohberger Elantra in WSU. You get what I'm saying? So without that Elantra, you wouldn't have that. And I don't even know how you would ever sort of identify Kohberger as anybody. I mean, think about that. Like you'd have his name. I guess here's how it would work. His name is on the knife sheath, so he is identified. But you don't. But his vehicle is not seen in the area, let's say. And so all you would then have is Kohberger's phone turned off at 2:54, and then it turned back on again at 4:48 south. So that would make him a suspicious person. Why did you turn off your phone and then you turned it back on over here? Okay. Why'd you do that? Because you got to just say there's no Elantra or anything. But isn't there a lot of juries out there that would go, man, I can't convict some. I mean, touch DNA is touch DNA, man. That could come from anywhere, blah, 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 blah. And you wouldn't be able to place him right there. Now, you might be able to go back in time and show that his phone, when it was on, was within 100 meters of the 111 or the 1122 King Road address 22 or 23 times. Okay, that would be suspicious too, but that would be in the past. And so it'd be really tough. I mean, then you'd still be able to go, if let's say you got enough to get a warrant, you go out to his Amazon purchases, and the balaclava would still be more, it would be interesting because that's one that Dylan Mortensen saw. So the balaclava would be in order, and then you'd see that he bought a K-bar knife. However, there wasn't a sheath at the scene, so, you know, it's a K-bar knife, and that's a knife that could do the damage that was there, but, you know, so it's kind of interesting, right? Like, yeah. So what do you guys think? I think the Elantra is so huge. It is the backbone. I think it's the backbone of the case, and it absolutely is a huge piece of circumstantial evidence, like very damning, that makes it so it's not reasonable to believe that the DNA on the knife sheath isn't his. Yeah, but I was just saying, the Amazon receipt without the knife sheath. So just think if there's no knife sheath. All right, so we were doing it. There's no Elantra. Okay, so there's no Elantra. So they do have Kohberger's DNA, and there's these victims that were killed by a knife, and it shows that he purchased a K-bar knife in March. But there's no, you can't really make a direct nexus to like, okay, that was used to do it. But after the K-bar knife sheath was found, and then the fact that he purchased the exact same brand is incredible circumstantial evidence, including the balaclava. So let's see, what would you be able to do without the knife sheath? Let's just say that didn't exist, and Kohberger was able to get in there and commit the crime. Let's see. So that wouldn't be there, but you'd still have the white Elantra driving around. The two officers already have his name in his system, and eventually it would have came back to Kohberger. They would have found him, and they would have looked into it and said, ooh, wow, he turned his phone off at 2:54 in southern Pullman, Washington. And the next time it turns back on is at 4:48 south of Moscow, Idaho, near Blaine. Man, this guy looks like a pretty good candidate to have done this. Look at that. He's a doctoral student in criminology. I mean, that's interesting. Then they start digging into his background, and then they see that his vehicle, his phone was pinging within 100 meters of the house 23 different times. And then they discovered that, oh my God, he's from Pennsylvania. They don't have front license plates over there. Look at this. This vehicle driving around does not have a front license plate. And look at this. It parked outside the house at 4:08 and drove away at a high rate of speed at 4:20 and 47 seconds. And I think you could start getting to a point where a jury would see, and then you go through all the other stuff that they have out there. You're right? All the other evidence that's going to come forward, it'd be huge, even without the DNA on the knife sheath. So that's why the DNA on the knife sheath is just sort of like a slam dunk at the end of the win a game, like that game the other night that Denver had. I mean, just absolutely crazy, right? So you could make a case, I think a stronger case with the Elantra than you can without the Elantra and only the knife sheath with his DNA on it. What do you guys think of that? I guess that's a poll question. Yeah, there we go. I don't know. I think that's the key piece of information that allowed law enforcement to already have them in a system. The combination of the two is overwhelming. It's just... Right. I'm sure it'll be the sheath to most people because they think, oh, DNA, instead of like just thinking about the logistics of a case. If you can't place Kohberger at the scene other than the DNA, that's touch DNA, a jury would go, you know what, I just don't see how do you place him physically there. I mean, touch DNA can be transferred, there'd be jurors that would buy that argument and go that direction. With the Elantra, man, he's in a tough place. I mean, because it just goes on and on and on. I mean, his cell phone matches the positioning of the Elantra in the off hours. Yeah, the combination of the both is damning. Which one, without the other, could you survive and have a really good chance of winning? And I think it's the Elantra. Because that is his car, and then the fact that it parked outside the residence the thing is without the DNA on the, let me ask you this, would you believe that the Elantra was his without the DNA on the knife sheath? Because I already believed it was his. It is his car. His phone turns off at 2:54, and then there's a white Elantra without a front license plate of his make and model and year driving within a third of a mile, missing a front license plate, and it's driving around and it keeps going in and out of the neighborhood. They keep following it. See, I believe it's Kohberger's vehicle without the sheath. Without the sheath, right. You see what I'm saying? But if you only had the sheath and no Elantra, well, then people will, there's going to be definitely jurors out there that just go, well, I know it looks bad. His phone turned on over there and it was on over there, but how do you show that he drove over there? I understand that his DNA's there, so, you know, but, you know, touch DNA is transferable from one individual to another, you know. An argument like that might work on some people. So anyways, that's my argument. You know, I could see it going either way. But if I was a prosecutor, that would be a tough one. If you said, listen, you got to get rid of one. We're going to penalize you in this case. You have to get rid of one of these two things, either the Elantra or the DNA. Which one would they pick? Woo! Man, the DNA, it's on the sheath. I would go for the Elantra and everything else in the case. I think it would still make it. I think they're going to have so much other information. Steve Gonzalez talks about there's going to be like earth-shattering information that he's aware of, but he can't tell anybody. It's going to be coming out. So it's like, okay, there's this other stuff that they have, and I think even most of us at some point will, during this trial, will go, oh, DNA shmee-a, right? You're just not even going to care about it. But hey, guys, we're still not at the goal tonight, so please help support the channel if you can. Yeah, we're a little bit short there. Yep, we're not even at 80%. So be nice. I have a good video out, and if we can just reach the normal goal on the channel, maybe the combination of the two would make it a good night. Maybe if we had an eyebrow in the Elantra, I think the sheath still holds it. Oh, and then also we'd still have Dylan Mortensen. See, all that stuff's important, right? So, you know, without the knife sheath, you'd still have Dylan Mortensen seeing an individual with bushy eyebrows that match the license number, the same build, etc., the same height. Yeah. So I guess we get to 44% for the Elantra. That's pretty good. And we don't have any coffees in here tonight, you guys. Wow. Two curious cats. Yeah, all that other stuff would be in there, right? But without the Elantra, you know, the touch DNA argument becomes sort of more, it could be valid on the defense team, but it becomes unreasonable when you combine the Elantra and the DNA on the knife sheath. But without the knife sheath, you don't have the Amazon purchases, don't matter as much because you haven't identified the weapon as being a K-bar knife because you wouldn't have had the sheath to be able to say that, as Papa Rogers pointed out. Hey, thank you, Stephanie Sprague. You still have other DNA to answer for. No, there's no other DNA that needs answering for. I mean, they should have went out and figured out whose, you know, ancient blood that was on the other rails, but that's not. They tested an item that's directly related to the murders, and it was Brian Koberger. Now, if Brian Koberger wants to say, okay, yeah, I had a couple friends come with me, and they were bloody too, and, you know, but he's not going to get out of it. It's the same thing as Richard Allen. Richard Allen is Bridge Guy, so it doesn't really matter if... Hey, thanks, CR! Look at that. Sent 5 more memberships. Very cool. Yeah, my thing is this: you have a house that has parties on it every weekend. I'm sure somebody's nicked their hand or something at a party over the years. It's just, you know, and the crappy part is if they do forensic genetic genealogy on it, and it turns out it's some student. My God, you guys, the Proberger nut jobs would just destroy that person. You know, they'd start digging into their lives. Everything that they ever said would turn into Oh, look at that. They're admitting they did it. Look at. They look at that. This post. It says, I did it. I did it. I did it. And then I go, yeah, they did say that. But did you read what they were talking about? They passed the test and got an A on it. Oh, who cares? He said I did it. You know how these guys are. Hey, thanks up there to Paige Willow from Canada, the 51st state. Just kidding, just kidding. And K-Me and Von Dazen. Am I saying that right, by the way? When I say Von Dazen? I don't know if I am or not. That was a joke, okay? I mean, come on. If you don't get that, that's a joke. Oh my God, he said it was the 51st state, you bastard. Oh, jeez. '52nd. Oh, I said it right? Oh, cool. I'm just guessing. Yeah. You guys are so awesome. See, this is when you guys make me laugh and it's fun, you know? Oh. Thanks, Vicky White. I'm just waiting for Paige Willow to respond. I was just joking around, okay? She'll probably come back and say, man, I think that'd be great. We are doing referendum here in Alberta. Oh yeah, what's the referendum? Oh, really? Weird. I'm sure they won't pass that. But they can tell fresh blood from old. Yeah, I just think, I mean, Ann Taylor sees the writing on the wall, you guys. There's no doubt about it. She can see it. It's plain as day. I think it might be a point where Koberger tries to do a plea deal, but the family will not allow it because they want him to have the death penalty. All right? I think that's going to be... And the evidence is overwhelming. It's not something... Only a pro-Burger idiot that would be on the jury might vote. When they see this overwhelming evidence, they'll just have to confirm their own bias by saying, oh, no, it's easy. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the logic some of these people in the comments. It's just... It's unreal. Gray, you didn't mention OCO or... who's that? I don't even know what they're talking about, these people. See, here's the thing, you guys. These crazy channels out there have gone down these deep rabbit holes with this whole community of people that believe all the craziness that they're saying. So they have all these little acronyms and names of things. Like they're running this whole SciShow thing that's unrelated, but they all think it is. And I wish they absolutely could see how unethical the people they're watching are. But they just won't be able to do it. They won't be able to do it. Anyways, thanks up there, Paige. Hope I didn't bother you. I was just kidding around about that. I haven't seen you comment since, so now I'm nervous. Use right now. Great show. Hey, cool. Awesome. Wait, stargaze? You were out there stargazing too? That's amazing. Well, this isn't a photo. It's a video that I took. You know, this is right here. This is like what everybody should know. You know, just watching this, right? Here you are. This is what it looked like out there. You're coming up. You're inside the complex. You're now north of 500 Queen Road, driving back behind it. And then it comes around the corner. That's number 52, by the way, that building in front of us right there. That's where it does the three-point turn later. drives up like this, comes around this little weird little curve in here, comes around the south side of the building. And this is what Koberger did on all of his passes. And you know what? Just the fact that he's doing this means he was out there a million times. How did he even find this little crazy backdoor thing right here? So you come back and you pull up right here, and there's the house right there on the left, 1122 King Road, right here, and that right there is Madison Mogan's window, and that's her little deck outside of the window there. All right, and then the vehicle, I think I just pulled forward here, may have even parked right around in an area like this. Thank you, Joe Burnt, and I love tacos. Man, I haven't seen you in a while. All right. So this is actually playing right now. I just sat here for a long time. So here it is leaving. And so the people watching this channel, aren't you just absolutely like, okay, you totally get this, right? Like the people that have been here for a long time, it's almost as if you've been there. And I guarantee you, if you drove there and got out of your car, you would not be confused whatsoever. You would know exactly where to walk, behind the buildings, etc., 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 etc. Just absolutely simple stuff. Now, I think a lot of you, even after you turn left out of here, could drive to the Paradise Drive camera location, right? So here you come up here, and you take the first left when you come up here. So he made things kind of easy for him the way he did it. So you come up here, you take a left. The first left, it'll be sort of like a three-way. Well, I guess it's not really. You know what? Hold on. Let's time something. Hold on a second. So a minute ago, remember how I said that it was 1 minute 10 seconds from 1119, and then it did a U-turn, and then it came back at 4:01. Remember that? So it's 3:59 and like what? 18 seconds or so. I actually have it right here. Hold on. Let's time this really quick. So it was 3:59:04 and then 4 o'clock and 14 seconds. So 1 minute 10, it was going south on Elantra Drive. That's the direction I'm heading right now. And then 1 minute 10 later, it's in the same location going north. So it's, coming back the way I came. So let's see. I think I guess the way to do this, to get this really accurate, would be to open up this and let's see. Let's go out to Elantra Drive. I think it's going to be, so not there. Probably right around right there-ish. Probably a little bit before. So let's see what's over here. So there's this tree here. And then there's this telephone pole. So let's see what happens if, let's drive up there again. So is that the telephone pole? Here, we're going to have to check it out again. I'm going to time this and see if it equals 1 minute 10. So hold on a second. Let me go back to this. Yeah, so it's right between here that camera picks it up. So it's a straightaway. So there's a telephone pole there. And then this telephone pole. So the second telephone pole after it goes around the curve. And then we'll start the clock. All right. That's the first one. And then that's the second telephone pole right there. Boom. So right here is where 1119, the vehicle behind 1119 King Road, is seen on 1112 King Road's camera. Hey, thanks, Walker. Enjoyed video yesterday of route driven. Thank you. Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it? I'm glad I sped up the other portion. That's like 45 minutes of just nothingness. Okay, let me go back. So the telephone pole is right there. Okay, so the time on here is 6:54. But let's see what happens. 6:54. The vehicle's driving around up here. And then I think right here, it maybe did a U-turn. So 6:54, and now it's 7:12. So that would be 7 plus, that's 21 seconds. It would be 42 seconds if you were just going around. But it takes a little bit to turn, so maybe 50 seconds. So we're missing about 20 seconds of time. So maybe the vehicle was just driving slow back there. You know, who knows? Maybe it was driving slow or whatever, but it comes back a minute 10 later. So that's the time where he goes back to check on the DoorDash driver. Anyways, I don't even know what we were talking about before that. Thank you, Walker. I enjoyed your video yesterday of route driven. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys liked that. I'm late, but I made it. Starting to rewatch. Uniquely Susie, so many of this Eve. Man, I can't understand you guys. There is no connection between him and roommate. Who? Do you think Koberger ever thought he had a chance with one of the girls and then got rejected? I mean, yeah, they said there's no connection, but I thought early on they were saying he liked some comments on Kaylee's or Madison's, like TikTok or something, Instagram or something, but maybe she never responded and that pissed him off. Was it any of the court documents that BK played video games with Ethan? No. I'm not sure where you came up with that. No formal connection. All right, so these are some of the notes I took when I was watching Drunk Turkey's interview of Steve Gonzalez. Okay, so there's different things, like he likes Judge Hippler. I think we all do. Apparently 23 times he was within 100 yards. Now, I don't remember what document that it mentions the 100 yards part. I've seen the 23 times, I think, but I don't remember. So, Lisa Valenzuela, if you're out there, if you know what document that one is, let me know that one. Steve thought maybe he chose that day because Kaylee was there. So Kaylee wasn't there, and then she shows up that day, and then he's there. But how would he have known that she was coming? I think it was more that she wasn't supposed to be there. Here's what I think is possible. I think that Koberger, if he was going to attack the whole house, thought all 4 girls would be in their own rooms and was going to maybe attack all 4 of them. However, if he was just going to attack Madison and she goes, I mean, see, it makes sense that Madison was the only target, that he was going to sneak in, go upstairs quietly, and kill her. And my opinion is that he was going to leave the knife sheath as a calling card. About now, that's just a thought that I have. Since he was mimicking serial killers, he'd probably want to throw in all of their, you know, I'm surprised he doesn't have some cryptic note of some sort, you know. So he goes up there and he would have killed her and then went right out the sliding glass door and took off. But I think he would have wanted to have a calling card, like, hey, there was something, I'm going to let you know I was here, but you can't catch me. But what happened was Kaylee was in that room. And when she killed Madison, Kaylee woke up and there was a battle. So things didn't go quite right. Then he goes down stairs, and then he hears somebody go, "Hey, there's somebody here," and that alerts him to somebody else, maybe a witness. Then he goes, and then there's somebody with her, and it's Ethan, and then things just went to hell in a handbasket, and he took off after that. Now, it could be that he went there to kill Madison and Xana, and so after killing Madison, went to Xana's room, and by God, there's another person there, and then he took off. I don't know. It's just there's so many different theories you could have. All right. Then he was talking about bank records and their importance. Yeah, I think. Definitely. I think what they're trying to find is any times where Madison or Kaylee or any of them purchased something and then Kohberger was in the same area at that time. Thinks he may have planned to do it on other nights, but wasn't able to because parties, and was frustrated and rushed himself and chose that night. Yeah, like maybe he was there on one of those other 23 nights and was ready to go then, much like a dry run, you could think. See, I think that too, Cheryl. I think he already, once he knew he was going to be going to Washington to mimic Bundy, he was already looking for his prey and planning it out. I think when he bought the balaclava and the K-bar knife sheath, he had already picked out his victims. That's just my opinion. I don't have anything directly, to that, but that's just an opinion that I've got. Yeah, but also Bundy went from Pennsylvania to Washington. So maybe that's why he picked WSU. All right, so then it says, in document it mentions 23 times near the residence within 100 meters of the residence. Between 10 and 4 a.m. I don't remember seeing that. It says between 10 and 4 a.m., 23 times he was within 100 meters. That's insane, you guys. That's insane. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to put let's get rid of everything else on here. I have so many pins on this case, it's crazy. Wow, look at that. Look at that fresh board. So let's do this. If he was literally within 100 meters 23 times, I think this is going to be mind-boggling to you when you see this. I'm going to do meters. Right here. That's 100 meters. Okay, so the parking area back here is within that 100 meters. So is this drive back here. This parking lot. Willanta Drive back here. Good night now. If that's true, that is horrendous for him. Okay? Absolutely horrendous. If that's a real number and a real thing, that he's within 100 meters, that 23 times before that night, that he was inside of that circle. What does that mean to you, Pro Burgers? Well, he may have been a stalker, Gray, but it doesn't make him a killer. Oh my God, you guys are ridiculous. I mean, you guys are absolutely freaking nuts. That's all there is to it. I mean, no, you guys, you have to admit, these guys are absolutely just crazy. Look at that right there. 23 times within 100 meters of 1122 King Road. That means the car was inside of this circle. So, was he right here on Willanta Drive? Well, hell, that's right there, the path that he was taking. Was he right here? Well, hell, it looks like he's going into the place. Was he back here behind 500 Queen Road? Was he lurking in the bushes back? I mean, it's just ridiculous. If that's true, That is a nightmare for him. If they can really prove it, nailing it in with cast data that literally shows that. If you can show them, I want to see where that is in the documents, by the way. Yeah, I don't think Cy Ray is going to be allowed to do anything. But Gray! That's right, Donna. That's right. What do you guys think of that right there? Just look. Is there any explanation of that other than stalking that residence? So let me see. Let's get this right. That little tiny circle right there. And he lived over here. So somehow, on 23 different nights, he's all the way over here inside this little circle. He's inside this little circle where... Let's turn them all on now. God, this is crazy. So he's inside of this circle 23 times. A white Elantra missing its front license plate, parked inside of this diagram for a 12-minute window where all 4 victims were killed. And then inside of that circle, inside of this one, a knife sheath was left that had Brian Kohberger's DNA on it, the guy that was inside of this circle 23 times before that night. Oh, wow. Okay. That's unreal. Unreal. We're heading into massive lull territory. Massive lull. All right, let's see the next one. In documents, it mentions 23. Okay, and then injuries didn't match. They were in bed together, passed away, marks and damages, and there was more to what happened to them in that room. Punched Kaylee in the face. Investigators believed it was a planned out event. Yeah, of course. Investigators believed he picked community. Wouldn't be surprised if he lived. Oh yeah, so like their profile said, he picked a community. Wouldn't be surprised if he lived on the border, which is kind of what he did. Day one, they knew about the white car. So on the very first night, they already knew about the white car. And I think that's, I don't know if it's because the Gonzalez has already had access to that camera or whatever. I don't know. What did Steve hear? Okay, I think I spelled that wrong. I want to know. I spelled it H-E-R-E. What an idiot. What did Steve hear on the 1112 King Road camera? That's a question I wanted to have them ask because he's heard it, and I want to know what he heard on that camera because he mentioned something about, yeah, it was really much clearer audio on that camera. You know, it's like, ooh, well, what was it? Thank you, Alley Cake. Right. FBI is confident a parallel investigation, now he told me this a long time ago, on Kohberger will be successful as a backup if the case in Idaho fails against Kohberger. Strongest case they have ever worked on. That's what the FBI was saying. What did Steve hear on the 1112 King Road camera? That's what I want to know. Thinks DoorDash and White Elantra passed each other. I basically showed that the other day. If I knew exactly when the DoorDash was delivered, I don't think it was 3:59 on the dot. I think it's 3:59 and 40-something seconds, and that key fob is the DoorDash driver. I mean, it would be really coincidental if there was another vehicle that was somebody walking outside of their car at 4 o'clock in the morning. And it sounds like it's from a distance, too. Case Idaho fails against Cobra. Yeah, okay. They can identify how and when a phone is turned off and how much battery life it has and how much... Oh, yeah. So that's pretty interesting, I thought. So they can tell you how much battery life it has. So if it's, like, let's say it's 90% battery because he just left his home not too long before, why would you turn it off? Well, Gray, he just wanted a peaceful drive, you bastard. Wow. What a coincidence. So he has a lot of phone calls at 4 in the morning? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't know about you, but my phone isn't... Well, now it's going to. The trolls will start calling it, but that's why I don't even turn it on anymore. But, yeah, they... Let's see. Alright, you guys, if you can help support the channel tonight, we're still trying to work on a good night. If you have the ability to, that would be great. Alright, so my Elantra circling like a shark was only 34%. I think it's a harder case with only the sheath because of the way people are in society. The white Elantra would have led to Koberger as well. Alright. Hey, thanks Elizabeth Brown. Gray, do you think Xana went upstairs because she heard something? You know, that's something I've been thinking about lately. And maybe what Dylan saw, maybe she did see her running down the stairs. But then that doesn't seem like it's the person that she described because that person was found in a bed dead. So Xana was found on the floor. So that seems like it wasn't her that she thought she saw. But I don't know. I thought what Steve said sounded pretty good. That she goes and gets the DoorDash delivery and leaves the door open. Interestingly, that's him saying that the DoorDash was delivered at the back door. So left the door open. Oh wait, no, that's not what he said. That's not what he said. So she got her DoorDash and went to the kitchen, and then she goes to the bathroom or something, and then Koberger comes into the house, and he leaves the door open because he doesn't want to have to try to open it again later. So then he goes upstairs, and maybe Xana comes out and notices the back door open. That sounds like a pretty good theory, really. Hey, thanks, Alan J. What exactly did Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk hear between 4 a.m. and 4:22? Are you asking me? I can pull out the document and discuss that. I don't know what Dylan Mortensen heard, but I think Bethany... I don't know what Bethany Funk heard, but Dylan Mortensen was right in the middle of it all. Her room. I guess what I could do is open up this and the other file. Hold on. Let's see. So I thought it was a pretty good theory, though, that the Koberger left the door open, and that's why Xana said, hey, there's somebody here. And he heard that and came down, and then he attacked both of them. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? I think we've talked about something similar to that before, but... Yeah, where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. This one. Panoramic. Ding, ding. Right there. So, Alan, basically the thing that Dylan said she heard was crying. She said from a bathroom in one document, which is interesting. That's different. She also said that she heard, that she thought she heard, like, I think Xana crying and whimper, sound like that. And then, obviously there was just some crazy sounds that they heard. I mean, you're talking about 4 people being murdered. So here's up in the living room here. So I think that's almost, if you rotated her feet towards the hall, that's how Dylan said she saw Xana as she ran from, see that room over there? Xana ran this way and then down these stairs and just looked over there. So there must have been pretty significant light going on in those rooms, right? But thanks, Alan, and thank you, K-Me. And then this is, I think it's kind of like this. I think Ethan's in the corner over here, and obviously this is like Xana and her feet were facing that direction. So from here, you would just see Dylan running across and then down. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, and then this is the sort of hallway that goes to the kitchen and then up the stairs. There's one little step down there. See that? There's a little step down there. That's kind of a little quirky thing. And then when Kohberger was leaving to go out the door that he left open, perhaps, he saw, he didn't see Dylan, I don't think, but Dylan could see him and probably saw his left eyebrow as he's got a balaclava on, and then he turns and goes out that direction. And this is inside of Dylan's room, looking out the door that's open. But anyways, you probably don't want to keep talking about this stuff. Alright, so if you guys do 5 more channel memberships somehow amongst you all, then I'll donate 5 myself, and then we'll be at 21. You seem angry on about every show I watch. I'm not angry at all. I'm feeling pretty good. What's going on? Calling names, etc. I just make a video clip of your reasons for donating at the beginning, and then clip it for quick break to announce. How about you go watch a different show, okay? Go watch the jackasses that put out the bullshit. Watch The Clown. Watch the guy from the UK. You go ahead and watch those, all right? I'm not interested in your opinion. I try to raise super chats and income on the channel on a nightly basis. That's just the way it is, because it's the only way to have an income on the live streams, as there is no ad revenue. Even if you're watching ads, they give you almost nothing. Hey, look at that. I love tacos. There's one right there. I haven't been mad all night. I'm just imitating the trolls. Hey, look at that. It's Timothy Cecil. Boom chakalaka. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Yep, there you go. So now I'm going to gift 5. Here we go. You get 10 free ones at the beginning of the month, but those are gone on the first day. Now we're doing the $25. Just like Timothy Cecil. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Don't you think that's just crazy? Why bother showing up? I mean, I would never go to your work and tell you how to do something. All right? You just do your own thing. All right? Listening. I think I'm just going to block that person. See, when anybody makes comments like that, there's no chance they'll be a valuable member in the future. There's nothing. They're just going to be a whiner, complainer on a nightly basis. Yeah, that's good. Hey, cool. I'm glad you're doing better, and it was good having you call in the other night. What was I going to do later? I remember I was thinking if I was going to open something up. I don't remember. They think you are angry. Yeah, I'm not even angry. There's nights where I am angry at something, you know, but I just am just like, making fun of the trolls and, idiots. I mean, because you are technically a stupid person if you believe Kohberger is innocent. You're almost dumb if you're like, I don't know, man. I think he might not have done it. You're absolutely something's wrong with you mentally at that point. If you're, I'm just saying, man, there is nothing out there. Can you point the one thing I ask on every show for the Kohberger nut jobs to mention the one thing that proves that he's innocent and didn't do it? How come he's never provided an alibi? Have you ever asked yourself that question? And he kept waiting for the prosecution to give him more information to try to tailor one. Yeah, those people make me angry. Like the clown, the UK guy, this other guy that wears like not DT, but the other. There's a guy that kind of has some similar sunglasses and a hat. He's an absolute idiot. But I'm sure he could argue. Well, here's the thing. I don't know if he's an idiot. He's really good at selling crap to people intentionally. And I think that's the worst, man. And then they'll say, hey, when everybody sees the truth about how Kohberger absolutely is a killer, there is no doubt, these people won't be able to change their minds, but they'll see the writing on the wall, and they'll still thank these guys. They'll go, thank you, though. You were really pushing the envelope there, man. It was so great. Yeah, they won't be punished for their tricking people. It's sick. Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Unbelievable. This guy kills 4 people. I mean, the FBI, I guess apparently in the same interview, said, Steve said, the FBI is like, do you think we're really going to let somebody who killed 4 students just be in society again? So we've got our backup plan. And that's great. That's awesome. I mean, my God, this guy is a psycho. Oh yeah, so it's interesting when, you know how Kohberger used a VPN on his phone? So when you're using your phone still connects to the tower. You just get internet with that. And then he used a VPN on that. So what an idiot. I mean, who cares at that point? You've already shown that you've turned your phone on near Blaine, but you used a VPN to think, oh, now I'm going to surf anonymously. Right. Now they think maybe he was he called in the noise complaints to maybe see what the timing of the police response was. Let's see. Late 911 call. Oh yeah, the late 911 call in the morning will be the final nail in his coffin. I wonder why. I know what they were saying, something about it was late, and so he was there before. I mean, I don't know if, what that says. I mean, if he checked to see if there was no, obviously there was no information. I mean, I don't know how that's a nail in his coffin. I guess there's something else I'm missing. Oh God, here we go again. Oh God, here we go again. Let's see what they said this time. Look, I watched you for a while, Gray, and I just think your crocodile tears and a crybaby voice. We could all do without. You're better than that. No, I like doing it then. I like doing it. It's fun for me. I like imitating people like you. All right, I think you guys are. Why don't you go watch somebody else? All right, I am not interested. They have video of him in the area of 9ish a.m. Yeah, right. He's where was that? Yeah, we had that in here the other night. We filled it all out. Oh, and I was looking through the documents, and it's interesting, these other places that they have mentioned, like Joanne Fabric, I think that's a camera. This Nom Nom gas station. This Red Star coffee shop. This liquor store. It all kind of shows like this line of travel there. Then Idaho Central Credit Union. I'm not sure if that's because he went in there, or is there a camera that's filming on this road right here as it's driving by. I mean, look at this. Look at that camera. Then there's this camera and that one at the liquor store, and then this camera facing that road, and then Cafe Artista right here. So maybe they're showing where he's going. I don't know. But yeah, what was the time in the morning? I had that somewhere. Is it in here? Yeah, 9:12. So look at this one. At 9:12:59 in the morning, at 13:11. So yeah, that's right. That's at the A&W right here. There it is. 9:12. See, I've got it on the screen. He drove right by here at 9:12 in the morning. There, look at. I mean, it's right here. That's like 2 minutes from the house. So what was he doing right there? So he came here. Did he then turn right and go up here, and then somehow this camera doesn't pick him up again? Or does he come up here, turn right, drive around, and watch from up here? Did he drive down? I mean, this is an interesting thought. Watch this. So I guess it's possible he came down this direction, and maybe some of these didn't have cameras because this whole route here apparently has no cameras on it. So let's say he came in this back way, but I don't know if he could do that in that short amount of time. I guess he was in the town for like 9 minutes, so he could do that. So he drove up here, and then let's say he comes up here, takes a right. He would have to pass the Linda Lane camera again, and then he turns left here to get the hell out of there, and joins back up on that highway that goes back over to Pullman, Washington. That's right. What do you think about that, Alan? So he does, we know that he got there. He was there at 9:12 in the morning. That same white Elantra, and his phone pings matching the exact same time frame. So that's really important stuff. That's in my timeline. Maybe we need to bust that out again pretty soon. Maybe right now. Where is that thing? Timeline. I think I have this one filled in. Yeah, right there, 9 o'clock. This is cast data in blue. Look how crazy this is. His phone is in Moscow based on cast information. Then there's a white Elantra spotted at 1311 Main Street at 9:12 and 59 seconds. Give me a break. All right. And then 9:21, cast shows he's near Moscow. Cast showed the phone utilized the same resources at 1122 King Road. He's right there. And then 11 minutes later, he's returning to 1630 Northeast Valley Road, apartment 62201. Cast data leaving the area of, I don't know if that's the right one. He's returning to the area. Let me fix that. Yeah, so this is the later one that I was working on. And by the way, when the car is doing those loops behind, the first loop was 23 seconds. When you see the car back here, hold on. So right when the car comes around this corner here, to the time where the light's spotted on this building, right, see that? Travel behind 500 Queen Road, and then the lights on the exterior of 1127. That is 23 seconds. Then the second loop took 28 seconds, so a little slower that time. Then the third one was 30 seconds, even slower. He's kind of slowly stalking his prey like a shark. And now watch this. The last one, 19 seconds. He was flying in for the kill. You know, the shark saw its prey and then put the jets on. I mean, look at this. 23, 28, 30, boom. Almost, I mean, literally just flying around the corner there. Let's see, what did Lucy Day say? I lost my temper and removed it. Oh. Shoot, I wanted to see it. What'd you say? Come on. I wanted to see it. Anyways, I just want to thank everybody who does support my channel and likes the way I do things. I'm sure I'm not perfect, obviously. There's stuff you probably don't like. But I think hopefully you appreciate that. We've done a lot of great things over the years also, you know. So that for the people just showing up here, we have some good news from our DNA. We have a DNA fund that we've put $102 or $103,000 in since January of, I think even before January of 2020. And we use it with Identifinders International. We pay for the forensic genetic genealogy in different cases. And Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick runs Identifinders International, and we just got word that 2 of the cases that we are funding they finally have some viable DNA, and now they're working on sequencing, and then it'll go to the GEDmatch FGG stage. All right, and they're interesting. One's a torso found in Indiana that was put into a grave. I actually played a role in finding where the body was within a cemetery. So that was pretty cool. They finally found the body based on some of my help, and they exhumed the body, found the bones, and finally found some viable DNA out of testing and testing and testing and testing. And so there's a torso, and now they'll be able to identify who that person is, hopefully coming up. The other one is in Florida, and that one is a kid who is like 15 to 20 years old. They thought maybe he was sort of transient type. He had a stolen bike that he had. He was found dead in the woods, or actually in a creek in the woods. And he was nude from the waist down, and somebody had shaved off all of the hair on his lower body. So law enforcement believes this was a man that was interested in males, but children, and wanted them to look like a child. And so that person's never been identified. And those are both, one's 1972, the other one's 74. So come on, if that isn't worth doing, I don't know what is. Of course, just then, when I just explained that, 20 people left the show. I had 402 people watching. Then when I explain that, they leave because they just don't give a shit, you know? Hey, you're not talking about Coburg? I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I find that kind of sick, to be honest. Let's see. Are the Linda Lane footage actually real? Yes, it's real. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's absolutely real. It matches exactly what law enforcement's been saying the entire time. It does a 3-point. What would make you think it's not real? Are there idiots out there saying that? he had done that survey about people feeling around their crimes, and he supposedly asked if anyone else had been arrested. Nah, he did it by himself. That's actually what another I think Gacy said that when he got arrested. Did you arrest anybody else? Really? People are literally saying that the Linda Lane footage is not real? I mean, my God, you guys. I knew it was real the second I saw it. Didn't have to, 5 hours of video. Law enforcement already has the video, and everything that they said matches up exactly to that video. So they made a fake video to put out there? Wow, that's incredible, you guys. Well, AI, Gray, you see, because it's a big government cover-up, you see, and what's going on? Oh, get out of here. That guy's an embarrassment. I don't know why anybody watches the clown. Let's see. I think they're talking about the fake screaming video. Now they're talking about the video itself. I've seen that too, in some smaller way. But I remember when it first came out, people said it was fake. I guess I forgot about that. Yeah. And I know exactly what it does. You want to see it? You just said it's fake, right? But look it. This is exactly it right here. Watch. Yeah, I went there in the summertime with my camera, my 360 degree. I wonder if I could find that one. All right, you guys, if you're out there, if we got another, I think we're about 18 short of a good night. So watch, here we go. This is what it looks like. So if you're new, this is exactly what the car did. It drove back like this. Okay? It drove exactly like this on the north side of 500, and then it comes around this corner, and a camera right there picks it up. So here it comes. It's coming around that corner. And right there, a camera underneath, I think it's right back over here somewhere, right, like right underneath there. Well, it might be, it's hard to say because it's too blurry on the screen. It's like right under there, films this car coming around. Just like this. And it drives back and around behind there. Yeah, I think that does make sense. That's what Steve was saying. I think I can buy into that too. Yeah, Sandy Shirley excited about the FGG cases. And if you're wondering about how that works, they do it with something called extraction out of bones. They grind it up, and then they are able to extract DNA from bones. And then if there's enough DNA there that's not been contaminated, they can then send it into sequencing. Once it's sequenced, they can then deploy a place like bioinformatics, who can then format the sequence into an uploadable version of it, just like when you download from Ancestry DNA, you download a zip file that you then upload to GEDmatch. Bioinformatics can turn that into a format that you can then upload to GEDmatch. So it's an unknown DNA profile. You obviously can't spit into a vial or whatever. So they've, at the back end, can then upload it to GEDmatch, and then it comes back with the matches on GEDmatch, and then usually they're just emails and so forth. Then you figure out who people are. Then you start building out trees. It starts off with the closest relatives measured in centimorgans. And based on the number there, you can determine, like if it's 250, maybe it's a second cousin or something. You know, it gives you all this information. And then they build out the whole tree, try to find somebody on each side, and then it narrows down to an individual. And that's how they came up with Koberger, but they use some, off the books techniques, kind of like, not off the books, it's just something that against the what do you call it? The company's, what's that called? Shit, I can't remember. Hey, thanks, Two Curious Cats. And then Cheryl said, she's not a pro burger. Well, I didn't think you were, so. Thanks, Allie Cake. All right, very cool. When he goes behind 500 Queen Road and that apartment building, he pulls up to the back corner of the house where he can see directly into Maddie's window, as Gray found out. Who are you responding to? Going out, doing, wow, I don't even know what the hell I'm reading here. Let's see. Back corner of house when he can see directly into Maddie's window, as Gray found out doing his own drive-through there. Right. Yeah, I mean, right here, that's the house. And that's Madison Mogan's bedroom right there. Right here. Right there. That's her window. I love my like-minded friends here. Yeah, this is a case where everybody should be like-minded. Unfortunately, it's not. It's, I would say, on YouTube, of the people covering the case, you know, people like me are somewhat rare. Like, oh my God, they come over here and they're perplexed. These people come over here and they act like it's just so... Wow, it's just wide open, this case. Who knows? There's so many things, you know, the drug, the cartels, I mean, who the hell knows, man? This is wild. And it's anything but that. It isn't even close. This is a blowout at this point. Well, thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. The only question remains is whether the jury returns a verdict in less than an hour. Maybe an hour and a half. Let's see. Profile said he would surveil and be comfortable. Slider didn't work. So I guess apparently the sliding door didn't work. Who said that a couple weeks ago? I just said it was likely broken, and that's why they used the chair to keep it locked. Didn't find DNA in his car. And then I think, well, yeah, I mean, see, they think, well, after 3 weeks or so, it just kind of hard to find. I think it's more likely that he absolutely planned. I'm not sure if, I wonder if Steve knows about, like, you know, he leaves the house at like 4:17 and 30 seconds or so, but then doesn't drive away until 4:20 and 47 seconds. That's 3 minutes or so, right? So he obviously he took care to not transfer blood into his vehicle, and any little bit that he did, he had months to clean it off. Or not months, 6 weeks. But that's a long time. I guess apparently he was like lived at the car wash. And then Koberger was reported to police by other women in the past. One of the sisters has been very helpful in the case of Koberger. And then they said that between March 20th and the 30th is when he purchased the K-bar knife. So I don't know where that's listed in the documents either. I don't know. There's some stuff I don't know what they're referring to. Like, I don't know where in the documents it says that the phone, that Koberger's phone 23 times was within 100 yards between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. in the months leading up to the homicides. I don't know where that is. I haven't seen it. I wonder if all, you know, on ChatGPT, all the stuff that I've uploaded, where I had it summarized, let's see, maybe it remembers that. In all the files I have uploaded regarding the Koberger case, has it mentioned the number of times that Koberger's phone was within 100 yards of the 1122 King Road address prior to the homicides? What's that mean? What's August 11th? What are you talking about? Oh, that's the trial, yeah. In the documents uploaded related to Koberger case, there has not been... Okay, so...
In the documents you've uploaded related to the Koberger case, there has not been a specific mention of the number of times Koberger's phone was within 100 yards of the 1122 King Road address prior to the homicides. However, the documents have detailed multiple instances where Koberger's cell phone pinged towers in proximity to the King Road area, particularly on at least 12 occasions prior to the homicides. These instances indicated that his phone was in the general vicinity of the King Road residence in the weeks and months leading up to the murders. But none of these documents explicitly pinpointed his phone being within precisely 100 yards. The closest specification given was typically described as in the area, nearby, or close proximity, without a precise distance measurement like 100 yards. If you need absolute confirmation or specific distance measurement from the investigative documents, this has not appeared explicitly in any of the files provided so far.
Yeah, well, the ones I've uploaded. Maybe it's in one of the other ones. So if you guys know where that is, let me know. I haven't seen it yet. I keep seeing it, and I'm hearing it on, different, news channels, so I'm repeating it, but I mean, most of the time I like to see the information for myself. Defense motion on undisclosed expert testimony. That's it? That's what it's in? Okay, let's see. Let's see. You're saying it's defense motion on... Okay, well, that doesn't show up in there. Well, that's not even in there. Where? Where are you looking at? I don't see it in here. Is it like prior to 2025 or what? Like what? It doesn't call it that. Okay, reply to states. Okay, I think we're in this. Oh shit. States. Okay, they don't have an apostrophe. States response to. Yeah, it's just not in there, man. Where are you looking? What do you mean that document? I don't see it in here. I don't even see where it says number 2. This one right here? Motion in limine 2 regarding vague... that one. Okay. There we go. That's not what it's called, but... Okay, it does say it in here, exactly how you worded it. Alright. Let's, so it's 16 pages. Let me download this thing. Thank you for that. There isn't a page 28. It's only 16 pages long. Oh, here we go. I just typed in 23. The state has not disclosed this analysis. Page 29 and 30 represent any time that the 84 at the Koberger's phone utilized a cell site identified as part of page 28 between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. 23 separate instances between July 9th and November 27, 2022. Balance will testify that Kohberger's phone used cell sites consistent with being at the crime scene during these dates and times. Balance will further testify that the hours between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. were identified by the investigative team as times of interest. Well, that's pretty cool. Where does it say the 100 yards part? What do you mean Control F23? What does that mean, Bree? I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Is it in there again? Witness expert opinion related to the case are contained in lab report. Okay. I actually have this document, this vague thing. We went over this. I guess it's only in there. 23 is only in there. Yeah, let me type in the meters. Now, the word meters isn't even in this document. Well, you didn't just see it because the word meters isn't in here. What do you mean you just saw it? What are you talking about? It was in the paragraph above it? Oh, up here. Oh, it just says meter. It doesn't say meters. I see, right here. All right, page 28 shows a map that includes 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, represented by the crime scene icon and a yellow circle that represents, oh, I just did that myself, represents a 100-meter radius around the crime scene. Wow. So, you guys, what I just made a minute ago is exactly it. So, let's see where that is. I'm going to move that to the top. That's a big deal. That's such a huge thing. I don't know why I didn't see that. I think we just had it break down and it left out that detail. Alright, so turn it all off and then just that. Look at that right there. He was inside of that circle 23 times. Well, anyways, thank you guys for helping find it. But isn't that crazy? I made that earlier, so that's what that looks like. Obviously, I wouldn't have found it other than you guys. I mean, I have looked at that document before, but I missed that part. What happened to the one I was just looking at? Just kind of... Oh, I think it was a web version, right? Is that right? Okay. Yeah. It was a web version, not the PD. That's not in Acrobat. So page 28 shows a map that includes 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, represented by the crime scene icon and a yellow circle that represents a 100-meter radius around the crime scene. Balance will explain that he conducted analysis of all the cell sites in the area that provided coverage to the crime scene and identified any cell sites that drive test data showed coverage that included this 100-meter radius around the crime scene. I'm not sure what that's saying precisely. I mean, let's see, the state has not disclosed an analysis of where Balance will claim the phone was located. Right, so it doesn't say that. There are 7 critical minutes that contain exculpatory evidence. Exculpatory? So page 28 shows a map that includes 1122 King Road, Moscow, Idaho, represented by the crime scene icon, and a yellow circle that represents a 100-meter radius around the crime scene. Balance will explain that he conducted analysis of all the cell sites in the area that provided coverage to the crime scene and identified any cell sites that drive test data showed coverage that included this 100-meter radius around. Oh, I see. So they're just looking for towers that include that cover the inside of the 100-meter radius. So, like for example, let's say I've got these other towers over here. I mean, that's not saying his phone pinged inside there those times. See this tower right here? So, what's the radius on that? Let me try to. If I did a 3-mile radius on that one, that's, you know, sort of the general. Get the miles on there. Yeah, I mean, so that 3 miles is out here. So that would have covered the 1122 King Road, and this one's up here. So, you know, that one's easily inside of that too. So what it's saying is there any towers that are covering within inside of that 100-meter? I'm not sure where they're getting that the 23 times pinged inside of the 100 meters. You see what I'm saying? I mean, maybe they'll explain it differently later, but I don't see that. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Yeah, it doesn't say that. This sentence here does not say that these 23 separate instances pinged with inside that 100-meter radius. That's not what that's saying. Now he doesn't stargaze it. You know how he doesn't. Why I believe that stargaze? Because there isn't anybody other than Koberger. All right, I know you guys and your little merry band of pro-burger wackos. I'm just the only question I have for you is how many letters have you written? How much money have you put into his commissary? You know, that kind of thing. That's the only question I've got for you. Now, there won't be a wait and see. There isn't another killer. Stargaze. I mean, well, hell, Stargaze, huh? What were you doing that night? Let's read this part up here then. So this says page 13 depicts cellular phone usage by Koberger's phone on November 13, 2022. Imbalance is expected to testify that when Koberger's phone, maybe this will be this will be it right here, that when Koberger's phone interacted with the AT&T network at 2:47:29 a.m., the phone was not at the Brian Koberger residence marked BK on the map, right? Because he wasn't. Rather, it was southeast of Brian Koberger's residence, as depicted by the drive test data. Balance is also expected to testify that he analyzed additional handoff data that occurred during this data session, and that the Koberger's phone stopped communicating with the network at 2:54:45. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys for sending that here. All right. Well, I think I'm about ready. I got to get going here because I got to get ready for trying to go fishing in the morning. So, hope you guys found the show at least interesting. Well, thanks, Alan. You too. So, anyways, we got the circle there. If that is the case, that his phone pinged inside of that 23 times. That wording didn't convince me that's what they were saying, but it does 23 times in the area. So we'll see what that is. Yep, thank you. I'll try to catch something. So thank you to, let's see, we had one coffee from Lida. I rarely am able to watch a live show, but I always try to watch later when I can. Don't stress over the pro burgers. I worked in special education for years, and you just cannot teach or ever get through to some people. I must say, though, that the pro burgers are absolutely hopeless and mean if you and mean if you try to logically discuss all the evidence against Brian. Her students were much brighter than his supporters. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I believe you. That's why I always say these people are mentally ill who think Kohberger is innocent. I mean, you'd have to be literally mentally ill to believe that. Alright, so then we have CR gifted 5 memberships, and Amber Maiden. Donna, Amber Maiden did a wave, and I think people jumped on there. Then Don Lawson said, but Gray. Alley Cake, CR, joining in on the wave. Then Gigi, Drive video was great, the one I put out earlier. Thank you. Cam Hart, Elizabeth Brown, new member. Cheryl, Virginia, Elizabeth Brown. Cheryl Moran with a cat eye. Von Dazen, Alley Cake. Janelle H. 2 Curious Cats. Stephanie Sprague. CR gifted 5. Paige Willow. K Me. Von Dazen. Vicky White. Joel Burnt. And then I Love Tacos. Walker. No Room for You, Buddy. That's the name of the channel. Alley Cake. Elizabeth Brown. Then Alan J. Thank you so much. Another cat eye. Then K Me. And then I Love Tacos. Gifted a membership. Timothy Cecil gifted 5. Then I gifted 5. Then we had Lainey Carter. Then Cam Hart gifted a membership. Then Sandy Shirley has been here for 26 months. Then a super chat. Then 2 Curious Cats again. Then Cheryl, 21 months. And then then Alley Cake meeting Sandy Shirley's wave. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And I hope you guys are, like the way I'm covering these cases. I could pretend that every idea is a great idea, but I can't do it. Right? I just can't do it. Like I always say, I've said, is, you fill the box with facts, and then you think outside of that box. I also say that I respect the right for everybody to have an opinion, but I'm not required to respect the opinion itself. Do you understand that? Like, I respect your right to say what you want to say. However, I am not required to respect what you said. All right? And so that's just the reality. That means you would have to some nutjob predator out there has an opinion, and you have to go, well, I respect your opinion, but would you really? No, you don't. So, and some people have opinions that have zero thought associated with it, take into account none of the elements of the case, and I don't respect those opinions. I think they're almost done nonsensical and troll-like. And, just is what it is, If you don't like the show, then don't watch. Hey, let's see how my earlier video is doing before we take off. It was doing pretty good before the show started. It was one of my better ones recently. Let's see what we're at. It's so we got video. This one. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's way better than the last one. See that? So it's got 19,000 views, and it's still getting 1,567 views the last 60 minutes, with 19,600 views at 3,000 watch hours, with an average time, which sucks, at 8:56 on a 30-minute video. Good job, people. Way to watch the whole thing. But 66 subscribers from that. See, subscribers, you get way more subscribers on videos than you do on live streams. So, but look at that, a 31-minute video, and the average watch time is 8 minutes and 56 seconds. Doesn't that suck? It's like you guys missed all the stuff and important stuff. And so while I appreciate you watching, why don't you watch the whole thing, even if you speed it up? At least that'll be 18 minutes or something, So anyways, I just wanted to check in on that. That one's doing better. The last video isn't doing... Let's see what the last one says. Hold on. Let's see the one from yesterday that was the full drive. That one sort of slowly had other people... Yeah, so that one I did yesterday, you guys. This is the video. See that? $54.67. Now, it took me like 5 hours to make that video, and that's what the ad revenue is. Okay? Got 17 subscribers, 1.7 thousand watch hours, and 7.2 thousand views. So this new video might do better than that, but look at the engagement time. Look at that, 14 minutes on a 35-minute video, which is way better than 9 minutes on a 31-minute video. So anyways, there you go. You got to see some of the inside baseball there. Doesn't that just suck? I mean, how does somebody survive on $54 on a video when you spend all those hours making it, and then that would be it? Like, if that's all you were doing is making videos, I wouldn't be able to donate a nickel at the end of the month from the income. It would just be, crazy. Now, if you have really good videos that you get like 30,000 views per video, that's easy. Those people that get like, they have 1 million subs, they probably get 100,000 views on every video, and they do really, really, really well every single time. Anyways, thanks everybody for being here tonight. Appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some fish stories to tell. All right, so thanks for watching, and as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
Yes, you have,
And
Gray.
during this
Yes,
whole
you
time, I
have.
have not seen one Well, thanks,
person.
Mary Lou. Thank you. That is a
Crime dissector, a thug projector. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya, wanna stretch ya. If you try to play me like an old projector. Crime sector
is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always
gonna be a pop protector, fool deflector, interceptor.
And I'll meet her, then I'll smack her with a vector.
Hey, shut up, Timmy.
With all respect, y'all.
Just remember,
have a temple fucking
conjecture.
I have no agenda. Hey Amber, hey Amber, I know you like me, Amber.
Straight without the blender. And in the
Yes,
end,
Amber likes
I'm
you,
gonna send
convoy.
on a mission
Shut up,
to
Timmy.
the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Yeah. Amber Maiden's one of the only people that likes John Boy in there. It's amazing. And John Boy came in to say hello, but apparently she wasn't here.
I know, it's so sad. I wanted to see Amber.
Oh my God, you sound really sick.
Shut up, Mary Lou. I can sound what I want to.
What do you mean, sound what I want to? What does that mean?
I mean, I want to sound like I want to.
What do you mean you want to sound? Whatever, man. Get the hell out of here.
Man, even Mary Lou's mad. Can you believe that? All right, see you guys later, and be safe out there.
Be safe out there.
God, why'd you jump in there? You haven't been on the show for a long time at the end like that.
Gosh, Gray, you're not very nice. You found me. You're so mean to your subs, Gray.
That's what they say.
I know they say that. I'm just repeating it.
Hey, wait a minute. What happened to your cry? You were so deep into a really serious cry there, and you stopped doing it.
Oh, that's right. Good night, everybody.
Oh, jeez. What a poser. What a poser. Can you believe that? Yeah, complete crap.